Hi everyone, this is Divine Guidance Coach, and this is my first YouTube video, so welcome to my channel. And if you're here, you're probably here for a reason. I've been inspired to get on YouTube and make videos to help people and guide them on their spiritual journey. And I'm just going to keep it with voice and pretty pictures because I think it's a lot easier to do. I don't have to worry about my hair or lighting or anything like that. So we're just going to go with the flow and get comfortable with this medium. So I just want to share a little bit about my story for this first video. And it started in 2006. This is when my spiritual awakening started. And before this, I didn't know anything about spirituality or energy or vibration or anything. I knew nothing. What happened was I was working at a small modeling agency, and at the time I was married, probably still within the first year, and I knew there were issues for sure. So I was working at this agency, and prior to this I had my own business. I needed to close it, and I kind of knew like the right time to close it. And then I worked for a big agency in New York, and then I was sort of like still finding myself and like what my next path was. I had signed up for nutrition school, so I was starting that as well. But anyway, so one day the owner of the agency, she came in and she gave all of her employees a book. And it was called Ask and It Is Given by Abraham Hicks. And I was like, thank you. And so I took it home that night and I was like, first of all, this book looks really like weird and new agey, and I don't even know what this is or why she would give this to us. I mean, she was a very, very nice lady, obviously very intuitive. So I remember opening it that night, and I'm sitting on the couch in our tiny apartment and started to read the story about Esther and how she was introduced to Abraham with her nose writing and her mouth like talking, and suddenly I just felt like I should put the book down, like just because I was laying on the couch, like rest it on my chest for a bit, and then this thought popped in my head, like, you have this gift too. And I was like, that seems really scary. And so I kept reading more. And that book, if you've ever read it, I mean, it takes a few times to read, sometimes a few pages, just to kind of understand what it's saying because of just like how they speak. So I read a few more pages, and then it was like something just woke up, and I didn't know what it was. It was just something new and weird, and like, I mean, I wasn't scared, but I was like, this is just, I don't know what's going on. And of course I couldn't tell my spouse at the time because he would think all this stuff is like woo woo and you're so strange. So I just kind of kept this to myself. But I remember, so that night I'm laying in bed, and then I felt like I should pick up a pen and then a piece of paper. So all I had was like, in the magazines you would get those little subscription like sort of index cards that you should fill out. So that's what I had closest to me. So I grabbed that and this pen, and then my hand kind of wrote by itself. And it said something like, and I need to find it, but it said something like, I am here, or I am. And I wasn't looking at my hand as I was writing, but when I looked, it was like clearly legible. So that's when I was like, oh, okay. Of course, I'd always believed in God. I grew up Catholic. We always went to church. I went to a Catholic college. I've always like been, not religious, but like just a faith-based person. So anything with like God wasn't new to me or something bigger than myself, but this sort of kind of hands-on experience was very new. So then after I wrote this, I just started to like, I felt so like peaceful and excited to kind of explore this. And then I felt like my mouth wanted to move by itself, sort of like a clenching in the jaw, and it did. It like mouthed a couple words. I don't remember the words at the time, but I just knew that, okay, something's happening. So since then, I just started to learn about all this stuff. I believe my first step was to actually attend an Abraham Hicks workshop, and I did drag the spouse at the time because he thought it was like just, you know, like so weird. And anyway, I should not have brought him. But when I saw her standing there and like channeling Abraham and, you know, all these people there, and I thought it was like so weird, like, oh, they're just here to like sell stuff and all these books and CDs. But I just felt, you know, these people were, everyone was looking for answers and looking for guidance, and she seemed very genuine. I mean, and her husband was alive at the time, and he was there, and I guess they lived in a trailer and like traveled. So it just seemed like the intention was really pure. And then I do believe I finished the book after that, and I just kept reading more and more about this whole spiritual stuff. And even the nutrition school I attended at the time was in New York, and there was definitely like a spiritual aspect to it. So yes, we learned about nutrition, but it was very like holistic, and we would just like you could just feel the energy before I knew what energy was. I was like, wow, this place is amazing. I'm supposed to be here around all of these like-minded people, and very just like open people, and just like, you know, safe. It was like a safe place to just be, and you're not judged. So that whole experience was new for me. So anyway, as I kept sort of learning more about this stuff, I think it had been a few years, so I was still married. And it was just getting, it was not a healthy relationship. I mean, there was like a million red flags. It was, now I know it was a verbally and emotionally abusive relationship. And I always thought that I could fix it. He'll change, you know, that sort of thing. So near a few years later, I just kept exploring this, and I knew that I even tried to like share with him more about it, but it just wasn't well received. So then I just kind of like shut it down. I was like, you know, I'm just probably weird, and that's all I knew. But I would kind of do this automatic writing sometimes. Like I would be inspired to write, and the message was always, do what makes you happy. You need to be happy. Please be happy. You know, don't be sad. Be happy. And it was just like, whatever this was just really encouraging me to be happy, because I was so unhappy, and I felt just trapped and lost, and just, I wouldn't talk to anyone. You know, I always put on a happy face, like, oh yeah, everything's fine. You know, he's, you know, evil and just so mean, but I could fix it. So in terms of just sort of following guidance, at one point I did, just with various circumstances, I was able to leave him, really packed up, and my family helped me. It was very like, you know, on the down low, like very 007. So I was able to sort of secretly pack up and leave one day. And after that, I really needed to heal. I was running a business at the time and sort of managing that, but like after I was able to like free myself out of that sort of negative horribleness, things really started to open up even more. And it also helped that I was able to be on my own and not, you know, just be judged. And yeah, I mean, I went to just different, like I found what Mike Dooley. Of course, this is when The Secret came out, and I went to one of his workshops. I was like, oh, wow, like manifesting, what is that? The universe? You know, is that just different from God? Like, what is all this stuff? And again, just meeting like all these like-minded, just welcoming, warm people, and accepting. And I was just like, wow, there must be just something wrong with everyone. Like, why is everyone so nice? No one's judging. Um, yeah, and I just started to explore all this even more, and even my just personal intuition started to open up more. Like, again, the whole message was always like, do what makes you happy. So as I'm going through this really tough time, I mean, getting divorced and just dealing with all that, which was, of course, extremely stressful. I mean, you know, I never want to go through that experience again. I would do like more like typing. It was like typing and like messages and just like kind of knowing things, and just I would be guided to go here, go there, or listen to this song, or watch this movie, and or read this book, and I was just having like so much fun like exploring all this stuff. So now, in terms of manifesting, now I know what the heck that is. Like I live in a really wonderful place. I'm close to the beach. I have I have a wonderful job. I've been a nutrition coach, a health coach for a long time since I went to that nutrition school, and that was in 2005. And I've seen that with coaching people, because it always starts with nutrition, and I want to lose weight, and I'm really good at that. If anyone wants to lose weight, I'm really good at guiding you on your journey. But I've noticed that with coaching people, like it's always bigger than just food. It's always bigger than weight. And I always end up being like their, psychologist and their life coach, and just helping to guide them on their journey and help them navigate. And so now that I've been doing that for a really long time, I know it's time to take it to that next level. I know I'm a navigator, so I help people navigate their journey, and I empower you to give you the tools to be your best selves, like so you have the power. I mean, I've worked with energy healers, and I've talked to psychics and anything like that. I'm open to anything. I'll try anything. If I'm guided to try it, and for that to be a next step in my journey, I will do it. I will participate and have the experience and learn from it. So I'm not any of those things. I'm really just a coach and a navigator. But yeah, so what I want to do now is just really help empower people to get in tune with their own intuition. I believe that we all have it. We all have a sixth sense. It's all there. And I think some people are just more in tune with it than others. But it's all there, and it really can help guide you. Like a lot of times we're like, well, I don't know what to do, or why do I keep attracting the same kind of person over and over, the same relationship, or why am I not making any money, right? Well, now I learn more about like vibration, like what are we putting out, what are we focusing on, what are we not focusing on. Oh yeah, so I live in this great place. I'm by the beach. I'm like with the most perfect, loving, amazing man in the universe. He is my soulmate. He is my twin flame. He is my divine partner. And I was guided to him after doing all this healing. I was single for 5 years after I got divorced. I needed that much time to heal and just be, and to really, love myself again and build myself up again, and understand how it's really important. You can't be in a healthy relationship until you're like healthy and complete within yourself, right? You have to take that time to heal. So yeah, so like everything in my life is really, if I look back, compare it to from then to now, like it's just night and day. I would have never thought I'm living where I'm living. It's crazy. So, if I could do it just by learning and reading and watching videos and working with people I'm guided to work with, I know that I can help others on your path too. So my goal with these videos is like each week I'll have some tips about kind of like what to be in tune with. And I'm not going to do card readings, or I don't know about all the moon cycles and all that. I love watching these videos for people that are really good with that stuff, and I do learn from them. Like I think I'm inspired by pretty much everything. Everything I'm guided to, I'm inspired by, and I know it's for a reason. But I'm not going to do anything like that. It's just going to be like simple guidance. I'm a coach, I'm a navigator, and I'm here to help you. So with that, that's just a bit of my story. And thank you for listening. Subscribe if you want to hear more. And I will talk to you soon.